Hey guys, so today we're doing some gardening and I thought I would just show you a few of like the tasks that I'm doing today in the garden, because sometimes I wonder, like, when I first got started, like, what do people do in their gardens? I feel like a lot of people that I know that have gardens, they're always working in their garden, and I used to be like, what do you do? Like, you put the plant in, water it, and then what? But there's always something to do now that I've had a garden for like a real garden, not just on my patio, since like October, so 9 months now. There's always something to do, and I thought I would share what I'm going to do today. So my plan is, I have this green stalk planter here that I had put some green beans in, and I had it in a really sunny spot, but unfortunately it just got blasted with the sun, and the green beans, they basically fried in the sun. So what I think I'm gonna do is, I have strawberries kind of randomly in random pots, and I have some on a raised bed that has legs. And my plan is, I think I'm gonna move all the strawberries into my green stalk. So there are a few basil plants in here right now that are pretty small, and I'm gonna leave those, but I think I should have plenty of space to put all my strawberries in here, because I also noticed some of them are on the ground in pots over on my patio over there, and they're getting eaten a little bit, and I'm wondering if it's snails that are eating them or slugs or something. So I'm gonna put them in here. And the second thing that I need to do is, I have another raised bed on legs that I showed in my last garden tour that is not doing well, and I just kind of want to revamp that bed and get it ready for squash that I have started. I have a bunch of pumpkins started, and I have a bunch of other winter squash and summer squash and things like that, and I've moved that bed to an area that gets partial shade, which will be good for the squash since it's so hot here. And this morning I actually removed 3 of the pepper plants from that bed and put them in a grow bag, which I can show you. And it might be a mistake, I might lose those plants, but honestly they're not producing at all right now. They have produced 0 peppers. So I figured, what the heck, I can move them to a grow bag, and I have some other peppers in grow bags that are actually producing and doing really well. So I thought I'll just do that, and then I can get that bed ready. So in about 2 weeks, probably 2-3 weeks, I'll be able to plant all of my pumpkins and squash in there. And I will also show you all what me and my husband did yesterday, which was to add on to our in-ground garden in the back bed. And we've added a pretty big space back there. We did the no dig method, so I might just put the footage in right now for that, just so you guys can see how we did that. Alright, so here is what we did yesterday in the garden. So this is my original back bed that's about 3 feet by 5 feet in the very back there. So what we decided to do was extend it out and make it about 6 feet by 9 feet, or 5.5 feet by 9 feet. So what we did was, we just used logs to mark where we wanted to have the bed, and then we placed a layer of cardboard on it. Just make sure the cardboard doesn't have any plastic or anything like this, like no stickers or anything, just so it's fully, you can be decomposed. And then we got the cardboard wet, and then what we did was we layered it with homemade mushroom compost that I've been making for the past 5 months. I got mushroom cubes for free from a local mushroom grower, and I've been composting them. So we layered that, as well as some other homemade compost, just like normal compost, and also some store-bought compost. So we did a pretty thick layer of compost. The first time I did this, I also added like grass clippings and things, but we didn't have any because all of our grass is dead. It hasn't grown, so we haven't cut the grass lately. But if you have grass clippings, you can add them in here as well. And we did about, I would say, 4 inches of compost, and I would say 3 to 4 inches of compost, and then we did about 2 to 3 inches of a raised bed mix on top of that, just so we can go ahead and plant in it in about 2 weeks. And then my husband's adding this raised bed mix, and that's what it looks like when it's all done. We also topped it with mulch, and I'm super excited. I think it turned out really well. gonna try to separate these out. There's 2 plants in here, and last year I did this with a different strawberry plant, took it out of the planter and transplanted it, and it did fine. So I'm hoping the same will happen. I hope I don't kill all my strawberries. I'm just trying to be very gentle, taking the roots out here. So it kind of just came out really nice. I'm just gonna remove the mulch here and any like dead leaves, and yeah, I think it'll be fine. So there's one of my plants, and you just want to make sure you don't bury the crown of the strawberry. Basically just don't bury it too deep or it won't produce any fruit. So kind of just like putting the shovel sort of far away from the plant and just prying upwards just to try not to disturb any of the roots here. There we go. All right, there's another one. So I also just kind of got depressed looking at my green stock with nothing in it. I mean, I just bought this thing and I feel like I want to get as much use out of it as possible, and I feel like when I have a bunch of little pots I have a harder time, you know, keeping them evenly moist and not overwatering them. But I feel like in the green stock it's a lot easier not to overwater, and then I just have to water one thing rather than like 10 little pots. So I'm hoping this will work out and also look really nice, because as you can see it's like literally empty, and it's been empty for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, why did I buy this thing if it's just gonna be empty? Okay, I'm done. It looks so much better. Now it actually looks like it, you know, it has plants in it. It doesn't just look like an empty green stalk. So I think I put 10 strawberry plants in it. So yeah, I'm super stoked. Hope they all make it. I also don't think I showed this yet. I got another fig tree, and it's a Chicago hardy fig, and it already has like a ton of figs on it. So I'm super excited about that. I haven't repotted it yet because I'm waiting to repot all my fruit trees until after they finish fruiting. But I did add a layer of compost, and I'm gonna add a layer of mulch on that as well in a minute here. So excited about that. And then what I did this morning was moved these 3 pepper plants out of my raised bed into this grow bag, and I really hope that they take off, or at least, you know, this one is actually looking pretty good. This one was probably one of the ones that was like the most successful looking. Still hasn't flowered or fruited at all. So I'm hoping that this will be better, because this one was in a pot, plastic pot, and it wasn't doing well. But since I moved it in the grow bag, it has a ton of fruit on it. These are shishito peppers, and it's just like loaded with fruit. Yesterday, this guy had finally had 2 or 3 bell peppers on it, and it was like pretty tall. I came out here, I was like, that looks different, and there was a giant caterpillar on it. I think it was a monarch caterpillar. And so I didn't kill it, obviously. I just took the branch off that it was on, and I moved him to one of my tomato plants that is like on its way out. And I was like, here, you can eat this. But yeah, it ate like the whole top. It ate like 2 of the peppers off of it. I was like, wow, okay. So, but yeah, I'm really hoping that these guys start doing a little better, because like, look how yellow this is. But it's starting to come on with some new green growth. I don't know if you can see that there, but yeah, that bed, I'm gonna clear it out. So I'm gonna move a couple more pepper plants to grow bags, and then, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it today because it's already hot. Then another exciting thing I'll show you is my loofah is getting pretty big. It's getting really big. I have one there, and then I have one somewhere there. That one's also getting pretty big. And then I think I have one more somewhere. Oh yeah, another one here that got pollinated. So they grow pretty fast once they're pollinated, but I'm so excited. Like, Look at that. It's so cool. And I'm still obsessed with these straw flowers. I will definitely grow these every single year. They have been blooming for weeks. Like the first one probably bloomed a month ago. And you can see under here, there it is going to seed. Isn't that amazing? Then it just goes to seed, and I can save these, or, oh, my nails. Whew. Gardening life. Save these or just let them go and kind of grow more on their own. But like, they're so gorgeous, and the sound they make, it's just like, I've never seen a flower like this. And the pollinators love them. Every time we come out here, they're like, during midday, they're like covered in pollinators, and they just keep coming. Like, there's a new one right there. So yeah, you can say I'm obsessed. So here's the bed that I'm completely redoing. As you can see, it's really sad. I took out 3 of the pepper plants. This one I'm gonna move to another grow bag. It is finally starting to produce fruit. 1 single pepper. This is a Tabasco pepper, and I think it should be loaded with stuff, so it's not doing well in here. So I'm gonna take that out. And then I have a couple other small ones that, I don't know. I don't even know if they're worth like repotting. Like, look at this. I don't even know. I don't know if I should even do it, but it's starting to get green growth. So maybe I might as well just try. But that's, oh yeah, I had a tomato that cracked, so I just threw it in there for compost. But it's getting hot, so I think I'm gonna not do that right now. So tomatoes are gone. Well, this bed of tomatoes is gone. I had 5 tomato plants in this bed here, and they just struggled, and I didn't think it was worth babying them anymore to basically get no fruit. So the plan now is I removed all the mulch off of here, and all that's left in here are a few sweet potatoes, and 1 sad basil plant, but I figured I would just leave those, just see how they do. I'm gonna top it off with a bunch of compost, actually, like a bunch of compost and a little bit of soil, and get it ready to plant out in a couple weeks. I'm trying to figure out some kind of shade cloth situation for this bed because I want to put squash in here, and I think it needs some shade. So trying to figure out if I can use what I have or if I need to buy something, but that is what's going on. And we will say goodbye to these tomato plants that did horribly. Yeah, there was like a few tomatoes left, but they were just not doing well. And yeah, at some point you just have to decide it's not worth it anymore. So this bed looks so much better. I was getting really depressed looking at it, so I just layered it with about 2 to 3 inches of compost, and a little bit of topsoil mixed in there. And I'm gonna, actually this mulch, I might use it. I have some other mulch that was on here before, that I'm gonna also put about 2 to 3 inches of mulch on there. But I think I'm gonna wait until I just plant out my other plants in a couple days, because I'm hot and it's like 100 degrees outside. But I'm just happy I got this done. I need to figure out a shade cloth situation before I plant those out, but I could show you what I'm planning on putting in this bed. So in my last video we started some seeds together, and these are the seeds that we started. Most of them. Some of them I had started a couple days before that, but I'm just so pleased with how these are all doing. We started pretty much everything from here over is what we started in that video, and it's all doing great. Sunflowers are doing great. Those I believe will go in the very back garden bed. Green beans will go on one of the trellises. I'm not sure which one yet. They're actually not green beans, they're cowpeas? No, I can't remember. But anyways, some kind of bean. And then some of the squash will go in the bed that I just fixed, and the other part will go in the bed that is newly built. We have zucchini. I think the zucchini we will keep, of course my air conditioner kicks on, sorry. Zucchini we will keep under a shade cloth. Pumpkins will go in the back bed, I believe. And yeah, some of the other things will take a lot longer to be planted out, like eggplant, that takes much longer to get, you know, established. Whereas like these, I already potted up. They were already outgrowing these little cells I have. And these I probably should go ahead and pot up as well. I potted up, I think, 12 of them, but I have a lot more to do. So I'm so happy with these. And then this is the amaranth.